Tweety in there with enough.
I realized I didn't have the camera adjusted before I even started this episode. Anyway, turn my music down here.
Fantastic evening.
Anyway, what do we got going on here? We have a Hoffman radio that I've been working on for a little bit. And the other thing is that I have a Remler radio that I haven't started on yet. And I'm not sure what the condition is, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, let me wet my sponge. Anyway, today I have, like I said, two California-made radios. One from Los Angeles and one from San Francisco. And why does it keep on wanting to get my face in the picture? All right, so it's already been recapped, and it had been partially recapped when I got it, but I finished it up and also did some quality control here. And it does have a power transformer here. And it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, let's see, 6-tube radio. And it's got a power transformer, which I like. And with these sets, you can run your audio input directly through because you have a power transformer that's going to provide your electrical isolation for the user. But the problem was, I'm trying to jury rig this to stay upright. That's stupid. But anyway, the reason that I added this is a isolation transformer. It's a 110 volts primary for the input, 6 volts output for the secondary. And that helps boost this signal, so it's going to be louder. And I'll demonstrate that right now. I've got this Bluetooth mechanism, and you can buy these things by the bucket load on whatever, Amazon, eBay. They're all pretty generic. So let's fire it up. You can demonstrate the audio input capability. It's just not a lot to listen to on AM, at least around here, that is music. It's mostly like people yakking on, it's like talk radio and stuff. It's kind of aggravating. Why does it not want to do its thing here? Well, I turned it down. So I can get some carry on. All right. Sounds about right for a 4.5, 5-inch speaker in a almost 80-year-old radio. Actually, it is 80 years old. This radio turned 80 this year. It's about to actually. It was manufactured August 5th, 1946. On August 5th, it'll have its 80th birthday party. So happy birthday, radio. You made it on this planet for quite a while. Pretty well made. I've always liked Hoffman brand radios. They didn't make the most exciting radios, but they make good ones. This one is the radio that's made in Los Angeles. What I'm doing is I'm running a wire at the back that will reconnect the cable that will restore AM radio operation if the future owner, decides they want to do so. And we started doing this years ago because we get an awful lot of these run-of-the-mill AA5 radios in. And most collectors don't really care about them. Most collectors seem to want the nice Zenith radios with the huge dials. Or if they want the tabletop radios, they're got a stunning, spectacular style. This one's certainly not that stunning, but it's a good performer. And with audio input, if we put this in our store, we might get $100 for it or something. I don't know. Which is fascinating because when I first started collecting antique radios, I felt the prices were pretty expensive. But I think they've, at least in the US, they've collapsed because they all came out of the woodwork on eBay, and all the people that collected these things are now sadly dying off, and they have these huge collections, sometimes thousands of radios, and they're just flooded the market. So a lot of AA5 radios are just, they're out there by the millions. Okay. I don't need that long of a lead coming out of there. Just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and wire up my little micro switch here so I can turn the radio signal off and on, and I want to confirm that works before I put it back in the cabinet. Because it will be ready to be put back in the cabinet after I'm done attaching this. I worked on the cabinet a little bit last night. It's a wooden cabinet with a tired but serviceable finish. So I spent some time yesterday trying to clean it up a little bit. Yeah, we had a good 4th of July. And it was just us out here, and we had a parade. And I live in a fairly diverse part of the country as far as people from here, there, and everywhere. And we had such a big representation of everybody there. And it was a good day. And I thought, you know what, this is really what it's all about. It's really about us. It's about us trying to do the best we can. And we're all in it together. Anyhow, hope you all had a good one. If you all are, some of you are listening in from the US. The only bad thing that happened, and it wasn't that bad, was every single year, even though they're completely illegal in California, people somehow get a hold of fireworks anyway, and they let them off till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it sounded like World War III, July 4th. Cats were not happy about that one bit. I'll try it again, see if the switch is going to turn the radio on and on. Radio signal, rather. So let's flip her upright. Oh, come on. Let go. Some good quantity of pilot lights on here. It takes its sweet time warming up, too. Okay. Well, something just decided to... Oh, folks, you just witnessed a meltdown live on YouTube. What the fuck just happened here? I must have touched something when I was under here that did something. What in the hell was that? That's just the lead going there. Oh dear. I hope the set still works. That's the problem right there. In fact, I'm going to redo that lead. I cannot find what just decided to burn, but transformer's not hot, so I didn't do anything bad. This, for some reason, this says I have low battery power. Let me plug it in. This is a disastrous episode. All right, let's try this again and see if I destroyed anything. I get a bad feeling I might have taken out something in the IF transformer, which would totally suck.
Try to understand it, but you never seem to find any kind of freedom. Commonplace is just another state.
Now let's see if the radio still works.
Give the good. And that might make you just full, but it's also rooted in kind of a sense of meaninglessness, purposelessness.
That's raising its
And Dr. Michael Youssef offers you a free download. Get your free guide to finding Jesus throughout Scripture.
You guys, just to the our middle class, our success. In licking paws, joint pain, or low end.
It still works. I'm not sure what was smoking under there, but that wasn't nice. All right, let me make sure the radio turns off and on. There we go. It does turn off. See? Let's make sure the Bluetooth's still doing its thing. Try something else here. Now, sounds all right, but it'll probably sound better once it's back in the case, because the case itself will act as a big acoustic box for it to sit in. So let me get that case and bring it over here. For God's sake, let me make sure that nothing is touching under here. Clears everything. It looks like it actually sits sort of elevated above the cabinet anyway. Get in there. And there's two screws that hold it in. It's not wanting to behave itself quite well. Anyway, I had a frustrating day. I spent all day long on the phone with tech support trying to get my damn work computer working again. That was lame. Well, whatever. Okay, I got one in. Let's get the other one in. Okay. This does have a back for it, but I'm not going to bore you all with attaching the back on this thing. I'll do that later because I want to get the Remler, that Remler radio over here. If you look here, what's nice, this has the schematic on the bottom of it. So if you get lost, you can find your way. So let's put the knobs back on. Maybe these look suspiciously like Zenith knobs. I guess it's a lightning bolt. I'm trying to get a bunch of radios done because I'm not sure what my situation is going to be in about a month. My dad's getting ready to have a bunch of medical procedures, and I need to help him and my mom out, so I might be out of state for a while I'm trying to help them. And this time of year, our museum goes through a lot of them, a lot of radios. Now, where did my Bluetooth thingy go? I just had it. That's awfully embarrassing. What do I do with it? It was like right here. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's on. It seems strange to me to have your on off in the middle like that. All the wrong music. Let's see. Is there any 50s music on here? 40s music. Let's see. All right, I think that one will do. We have good radio, good audio input capabilities. Finish is sort of okay. So now it's time to get the representation from the Northern California side of things. This is a Remler. Remler Scotty, that was their little mascot, this little Scotty dog, and I don't know the model number because the tag is missing. There's people in our museum that collect the crap out of these things, and they would know immediately what it is. This model has, I'm not sure if you can see this here, has a tendency to have cracks in the corners here because of the handle that comes out. And the other reason it cracks is because the radio is deceptively heavy. Because they're built like a boat anchor. So let me get something to put my screws in. I don't want to fire it up yet until I know what the condition of the electronics is, because this has a power transformer. Well, that's not going to come out unless I tip it. And if I fire it up and fry the power transformer, it's not going to be fun. Yeah, Hoffman's not bad. They made a bunch of stuff. We have a Hoffman TV and a Hoffman stereo. And Hoffman made a lot of televisions too. And they made, their big claim to fame was they had green filters over their TV tubes, because the theory was that green television was way easier on the eyes. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but yeah, look at this. Sometimes I just like looking at stuff like this for a minute because it's so nice. This is so much nicer than your typical radio. It's just really well built. We'll detach the, well, let me mark one of these so I know which one goes where. That's a little bit red. That goes here. Okay. Remler had a pretty good run. We have some Remler stuff from the 20s. And I think at least they were making consumer radios primarily for the California market for right up until the 50s, I believe. But I could be wrong. I think they went into avionics. Anyway, there it is, Remler. It's a model number MP5-5-3. Very cool logo. That still looks good today. Anyway, how many tubes we got here? One. It's probably a 5-tube unit. It's got it looks like a replacement speaker inside. So I think it's had work done to it. So I'm going to find out when I take the bolts or the screws out and see what's going on inside. But let me take a set of screws out of these knobs first. I can maybe see why this company might have had a little bit of a problem, because I'm going to guess the cost of manufacturing these is probably higher than some of your bigger established national brands. Might have had a hard time competing. For a while, you had a lot of regional manufacturers because the country's huge, and but then eventually the national brands just kind of took over everything. Probably true in many other parts of the world. Now, why you'd have such tiny little screws to hold this chunky thing in here is beyond me. Okay, let's see if I can fish this out of here. Well, it is crammed in there tight. Whoa. Yeah, someone's definitely been in here. Look at this. It's got a new tuning string. It's a new speaker. Got a new cable here going for the top of the volume control, which is what I assume that is. Just flip it over. Oh, oh, this is why looks can be very deceiving. That has not been completely overhauled. That doesn't mean that these are necessarily bad. And I'm not sure how long ago this was done. Whoever worked on it last obviously did a very nice job. I'm pretty sure these were not original, but they've added these fuses here to protect the power transformer. We've got this really serious looking cap here that might be across the line, depending on how that connects up in there. And we have these single colored striped capacitors, and sometimes that means they're plastic film and they're okay. I don't know about these guys. General Instrument. Wow, someone has put General Instrument capacitors in here. That probably means they were made for testing equipment. So those are probably very good electrolytic capacitors. They may still be totally fine. So much so that I'm going to go ahead and get my cap checker, bring it over here, because it'd be very easy to take this out of circuit to test, because it's just right there. By the way, out of all the stupid crap you see me do on this channel, if you don't know what you're doing, do not, first of all, don't do any of the stuff that I'm showing on my channel, because I'm an untrained imbecile. And secondly, don't use one of these, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because these can put out some real voltage. You know, hundreds of volts, because you need that in order to power up your capacitors. So I'm going to take this guy out of circuit. I'm curious about it now. I bet it's perfectly fine. I bet there's nothing wrong with it. Now again, don't do what you're about to see, because you can electrocute yourself if you're not careful. Let's see what the voltage on these are. 450 volt. Oh yeah, well it's got a power transformer. So let me go ahead and set the voltage. $400 or 450? 450. Discharge. What I'm going to look for is this needle here, and what I want it to do is maybe go upwards and then fall back down as much as possible. Now you see it kind of, probably can't get that much detail on this camera, but the needle jumped and it started falling down. Now what I want to do is see what the leakage is, okay, it's not great initially, but it's starting to fall. And now if it had just gone over and absolutely pegged this, that means the capacitor is pretty much no good and is probably soon going to give you some problems. So I'm not sure if I'm too worried about this. In fact, it's continuing to fall pretty aggressively. How many of them are in here to begin with? There's a positive there. Sorry, I'm getting my head in here. I'm just seeing what we got going on here. That has to be the other negative there. Positive, negative. See, this is already almost fallen down to 0. Now, if I was going to be legit, I'd let it sit here and cook for a while and reform. But it's starting to drift down towards the threshold where it's okay. I think this is probably all right. I'll come back later and confirm, but let me check the other side. Let's check this one more time. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see that, but the needle's kind of jumped around quite a bit. When you see that, that's not a problem. It's reforming. So turn it off, release everything, and go to the other positive, which is over here. And it also needs, well, let me put this other one back in. No, I'm not going to put it in circuit yet. I can tell exactly where it goes. So no need to, this should come right off. Sorry, folks, I know this is probably not the most exciting thing you've ever seen, but this is how it goes with radio repair. That's disconnected. It's important that you get your capacitor out of circuit, or it's going to put everything else that's lined up with it, and you don't want to run 450 volts through everything. That's a bad idea. Okay, let me turn it back on. My leakage, this one's even better. Look at that. Wow. I mean, it just, you can't see that. They just bumped the camera. Sorry. All right. You see, when I turned it on, this needle just jumped briefly and almost immediately fell back down almost to 0. And it is even happier than this one. And it is, I mean, these were probably very expensive capacitors when they were new. They're much higher quality. So I'm not surprised that they're fine. I feel like maybe some of the contacts here are just not great. I need to clean that up. But they're not shorted, and they're pretty healthy, so that gives me enough confidence to think I could probably test the radio. Yeah, these are both fine. I'm not too worried about that. I think they'll be fine. So again, release everything. And discharge. Some of these capacitors, now even though the cap checker is supposed to discharge the capacitors, it's not a bad idea if you've got big wall, huge ones like this to try to discharge them anyway. There we are. Let's go ahead and put this away. I'm going to test fire the radio, see if it works, and then I'm sorry, but these guys, these capacitors here, they've got to go. Now, get some leads for the antenna. Fire it up, see if it works. Okay, that's center. And here's the last one. Okay, go ahead and plug it in. Let's fire it up. Oh, you know what? I'm glad they put those fuses in there. I just got a 6x5 rectifier in it.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running.
Well, all is not happy. I've got I've got some contact problems going on here. The volume and the tuning condenser mechanism are all messed up, but that can be fixed, believe it or not. First thing is going to do the volume control, and it has a little slot open to the bottom here, and I can just squirt some juice in there. There's that. As far as the tuning condenser goes, you fix that. Try a little compressed air. Not compressed air, but air in general being produced by this thing. See if that does it. Nice volume control, by the way. It's moving very nicely.
So well in the World Cup so far, especially in that first game against Paraguay when it was a low block. His perception was that internationally he was being viewed about their spirit. You have to sell.
Well, we have a problem. The problem is that the tuning condensers are tuning condenser's got crap in it, and it's hard to get to this. I think I'm going to take that off so I can get at it. Let's see. Okay. Now I can get to everything. I can kind of tell already there's a couple of fins that are bent here. Let's see. Yeah, that one and that one are just a little bit bent. I'll try that again.
For March 5th.
Okay, sometimes you can use a business card to get down in there.
Or log on to BINnews.com.
Apartment design.
Sí, lo tenemos.
What they have this.
Go to confession. Gracias.
Still time to.
Mainly through inhaling particles from rodent droppings or urine. Person-to-person spread is extremely rare, but infection can become severe quickly. The containment highlights the importance of surveillance and timely health care in Black communities.
That's a different emotional. ESPN. WW got. Francisco at KDOW.com on our mobile and the Odyssey app. Service of Salem Media Group. 101.7 and 104.
Okay, I think I fixed pretty much all of it except for the very bottom, and it's on a station. It's not on a station, there's nothing there. It's just right there.
This is much of
All right, so got the volume control cleaned up, and we got the tuning condenser cleaned up. Let me put this thing back in there before I forget. Put this bad boy back on there. Oh, look, someone's marked. Station's on there. Oh no, I just dropped it. Just about dropped it. Every time I drop something off my workbench, I just immediately look down so I can see if I can see the bounce. Otherwise, it's gone forever. Okay, it's not hitting anything. We got almost an hour here. Well, like I said, probably would not trust any of these old school Bumblebee types, especially like one like this. And I could be completely wrong. Seems like the person who did this knew what they were doing. These could be plastic film cats. In fact, maybe. There's not much in here, but maybe I'll take one out and bust it open just to satiate my own curiosity. Mark where I took that off. Alright, what can I use to smash this open? I'll do it on the concrete, so hold on just a second. Plastic. So these are probably early Mylar capacitors. So there's actually probably nothing wrong with that. So these guys, this one and that one, totally fine. Now there's another one that says Jerry Lee. I'm not familiar with that one at all. Easy enough to replace. I need to put the one that I just destroyed back in to prove a point that I didn't need to make. It's interesting too, because these capacitors say General Instrument as well. This is so much more nicely made than a majority of the big manufacturers. Let's see what this guy is. 0.022. Coming off 12 SQ7 and output, there's probably not a ton of stuff on that. Let's see. Come off of there. Yeah, that needs some insulation. You know, replace capacitors, make sure that you prevent doing what I did earlier, which is having stuff touch each other and cause things to smoke. That's the opposite of what you want things to do. All right, now this has the easy ability to add an audio in because lo and behold, it's got a power transformer. And since it has a power transformer, that's very convenient. That means I can run the line in directly. It's not a big deal because it's not a hot chassis. Now, if it was a hot chassis, you shouldn't do what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let me get some stuff out of my... I've got a cable here. There. Ruined forever. I wish they would standardize the color codes. I'm guessing that is right and left, and green is ground. This can come... So where can I snake this through? There's lots of little tricky little holes I can run things through. How about here? Yeah, it seems like a good idea, but first I'll run it out here. Then through here. Tie a knot in it so you can't yank it out the hole. This needs to go through here. Okay, looks like that did, so I'm going to assume that that is the positive or the top of the volume control, because that is going to that, and that is going to that, and that is going here, which goes to that capacitor. What else does that go to? Let's see what this other one goes to over here. Goes here, here. Well, I'm ready to find out. So wire it up. I need to get off my ass. During my holiday break, I was intending to make new mounts for my camera, so the episodes wouldn't be so poorly produced. But here we are. I didn't do anything. That's got to be the radio signal because it's got a shielded cable. So that has to be it. It's just got to be it. You wouldn't shield the the ground side. Okay, right and left channel, negative. I hope this set has enough gain, because otherwise we'll have to add a transformer to this to boost the signal. That's a pain in the ass. I had to do it to that Hoffman, so maybe it'll be twice the charm, and I'll have to do it with this one too, but I hope not. We'll find out momentarily, assuming that I've got the color codes on this audio cable correct and that I was right about the top and bottom of that volume control. Turns out my Bluetooth is still on. Let's fire it up and see if we get any noise like music. Let me see what my phone might be playing. Where did my phone go? I don't know where it went, but I'm assuming it's still playing music somewhere. Ah, it's up here. All right, that seems to be working okay, but I have no antenna hooked up, so I want to make sure that what the signal coming in through the Bluetooth any magnitudes higher than the signal, radio signal, so that's probably overriding automatically. I'll turn this down. I'll try this again to make sure that it's going to do what I want it to do, which is work even with the full antenna in service. Now, if this is working right, I should just unplug the Bluetooth and the radio signal will restore itself. No. I don't have the antenna hooked up correctly. Let's see. Well,
Suck it up. That's what you voted for when you got Trump. I'm wrong. Uno que si las lámparas no hablan, alumbran. Y venimos a hacer una lámpara, no sé. Que sin hablar, damos luz. Es lo que yo veo. Has venido a hacer una... Love me forever. De esta manera...
Access to federal funding following a year-long cutoff in individualized bids on paper cable. Patrick Ewing is heading back to the NBA, this time on the sideline. ESPN reports Ewing has agreed to join the Washington Wizards as an assistant head coach under Ryan Keefe. The Georgetown legend later returned to his alma mater, where he spent 6 seasons as the Hoyas head coach before serving
there we go.
as basketball ambassador for the New York Knicks. Now, so
for it comes from my heart. My woman in heaven, my love, my darling, will be to hold you and hold you tight. Oh, mommy.
Seems like I'm getting some radio bleed through. Not a lot. Yeah, that seems to not be overriding the signal that I thought it would do. So that means I'm going to have to add a switch. Kind of don't want to do that because that means putting a hole in this, and I absolutely hate that idea. I just need to tell people I need to tune on the station a little bit. Then again, I'm not helping by having these crazily long leads. So, let me solder these back on for real. I want to see what my real performance is going to be without all those long dangly wires. Because by adding all those alligator clips, I'm adding a lot more length for that antenna. So I just want to see what it is like in default mode. I suspect it won't make much of a difference, but you never know. Okay.
Award season buzz with John David Washington and Samuel L. Jackson.
Rocket 69, rocket. Well, would you like to ride in my rocket 69? Rocket 69, rocket 69. With a sweet man like you, we can have such a wonderful time. Rocket 69.
You know what? I think that's totally fine. You could just tune it off a little bit. It sounds perfectly clean. I really don't feel like drilling holes in that plastic case because that's the only way I can get a switch on it because it is just a monolithic block. There's no way for me to cheat. There's no feet on it, so I can't put the switch underneath to hide it. It just has to be what it is then. Well, I'm looking at my time here, and it's about a minute and not a minute. It's about an hour and 4 minutes. So thank you all for hanging out with me. And I think what I'm going to do is clean this cabinet up and probably use some plastic polish and get it all situated. And then put it back together again and just let her loose, let it run for a few hours. I'm not worried about it. I think who was ever in here before did a nice job, nicer than me, actually. I just needed to check a few things. And while I'm at it, where did that brown capacitor go? I want to see if it too was plastic film. So I'm just curious. Did they go all the way, or did they leave a paper cap in here? It's a plastic. That's a Mylar capacitor. There was nothing wrong with what was in there. I wasn't familiar with that brand, but yeah, the person that rebuilt it last time, I'm not sure when it was, they did a very good job on these very good quality parts. All right, folks, thanks so much for hanging out with me and watching my weird little radio repair life. And I will see you all when I see you. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, no matter what time or place you are in the world. And if there's a word of advice I have to give to everybody, try to be nice to each other. Makes life a little easier. See y'all.